Imagine you've spent your entire life walking through forests, grasslands, and river valleys. You've crossed streams, you've followed rivers. You've seen lakes reflecting the sky. Every body of water you've ever known has one thing in common. It ends. Sooner or later you reach the other side. Then one day, after weeks of traveling, you climb a rocky hill and stop. Not because you're tired, not because you're lost, because something impossible is standing in front of you. A vast sheet of blue, stretching farther than your eyes can see. No opposite shore. No visible end. No mountain beyond it. No explanation. Just an endless horizon where the sky and water seem to melt into one another. For a moment, your brain struggles to understand what it's seeing. How can so much water exist? Where does it end? What's on the other side? Or is there even another side at all? For the first humans who encountered the ocean, this may have been one of the most shocking sights in human history. A world without boundaries. A landscape too large to comprehend. But the strangest part isn't that they were afraid, it's that they kept coming back. And eventually, they did something even more unbelievable. They sailed straight into it. So what did our ancestors think when they first stood at the edge of the sea? And how did a species born on land become masters of the ocean? The answer is one of humanity's greatest adventures. For millions of years, our ancestors evolved in environments filled with landmarks. Trees, rocks, mountains, cliffs. Everything around them helped create a mental map of the world. If you became lost, you could find your way back, look for a river, a familiar hill, a distinctive tree, something that told your brain where you were. The ocean offered none of that. It was unlike anything humans had ever experienced. A flat, featureless expanse disappearing into infinity. Even today, standing beside the sea can feel strangely unsettling. There is something about its size that reminds us how small we are. Now imagine seeing it for the very first time. No maps, no science, no understanding of horizons. No knowledge that Earth is a sphere. The ocean might not have looked like water at all. It may have looked like the edge of reality itself. A place where the known world ended and the unknown began. Yet fear was only part of the story, because humans possess a trait that has changed history again and again. Curiosity. Curiosity pushes people toward things that should probably scare them. Volcanoes, mountains, dark caves. And eventually, the sea instead of avoiding coastlines. Ancient humans began exploring them. What they discovered changed everything. The shoreline was overflowing with food. When the tide retreated, it left behind shellfish trapped in shallow pools. Crabs crawled between rocks. Fish became stranded in pockets of water. Unlike large animals, these creatures couldn't run away. You didn't need to chase them. You didn't need to risk injury hunting them. You simply collected them. Archaeological evidence from South Africa suggests humans were harvesting shellfish more than 100,000 years ago. The ocean wasn't just mysterious, it was valuable. In many ways, it was one of the richest food sources our ancestors had ever encountered. The thing that inspired fear also became a source of survival. And that changed the relationship completely. Families returned. Children grew up near the shore. Communities formed along coastlines. Generation after generation, the impossible became familiar. But familiarity didn't make the ocean safe. Every so often, the sea reminded people who was truly in charge. A calm morning could become a violent storm by afternoon. Waves could smash against rocks with terrifying force as powerful currents could drag a person away forever. One moment the ocean provided food. The next, it demanded a price. Ancient humans quickly learned a difficult lesson. The sea could feed you, but it could also kill you. And when people encounter something powerful yet unpredictable, they do what humans have always done. They create stories across the world. Coastal cultures developed legends about the sea. Some imagined gods controlling storms. Others believed giant creatures lived beneath the waves. Many thought the ocean possessed emotions and intentions of its own. Today, these stories may sound like myths, but they served an important purpose. They transformed something incomprehensible into something understandable. A storm wasn't random. A god was angry. A dangerous current wasn't mysterious. A spirit was warning you away. Stories helped people survive in a world they couldn't fully explain. And for thousands of years, the ocean remained both a provider and a mystery. Then humanity took an extraordinary step. Someone built a boat. Think about that for a moment. Picture a small group standing on a beach tens of thousands of years ago. The sun is rising. Waves roll onto the sand. A crude raft rocks gently in the water. Behind them lies everything they have ever known, their homes, their hunting grounds, their entire world. Ahead lies uncertainty. No one knows what waits beyond the horizon. No one knows if they'll return. Yet they push away from shore anyway. That decision may be one of the bravest acts in human history. Because once humans left the safety of land, everything changed, and astonishingly, they succeeded. Scientists believe modern humans reached Australia at least 65,000 years ago. That fact alone is remarkable. But what it implies is even more incredible. Australia was separated by open water. To get there, humans had to cross the sea, not by accident. Not while drifting on debris, deliberately. Think about what that means before agriculture, before cities, before writing, before the pyramids. Humans were already sailors. Somewhere in the distant past, people planned voyages, built watercraft, organized groups, and navigated across dangerous waters. They looked at the ocean and saw not a barrier, but a possibility. The descendants of those first explorers transformed human history. The sea was no longer the end of the world. It became a road, a bridge connecting distant lands. Over time, humans learned the language of the ocean. They studied tides, observed winds, tracked the movement of stars, watched birds fly toward distant islands. Every generation added new knowledge. Every voyage taught new lessons. And eventually, some cultures became masters of navigation. Perhaps no one demonstrated this better than the Polynesians. Thousands of years after humanity's first encounters with the sea, Polynesian navigators achieved something extraordinary. They crossed vast stretches of the Pacific Ocean long before modern technology existed. Imagine standing in a canoe in the middle of the largest ocean on Earth. No compass, no GPS, no maps. Nothing but water in every direction. Most people would feel completely lost, yet Polynesian navigators could read the ocean like a book. They studied wave patterns, cloud formations, star positions, the flight paths of birds, subtle clues invisible to most people. Using this knowledge, they located islands hundreds and sometimes thousands of kilometers away. What once appeared to be an endless void had become a landscape rich with information. And that's the most remarkable part of this story. The ocean never changed. The waves remained dangerous. Storms remained deadly. The horizon remained endless. What changed was us. Human beings adapted, learned, experimented, failed, tried again. The first humans who encountered the sea may have felt confusion, awe, fear, and wonder all at once. But every generation understood a little more than the last. The unknown became familiar. The impossible became ordinary. And eventually, the thing that once looked like the edge of the world became the force that connected it. This pattern appears throughout human history. When we encounter something overwhelming, we don't counter-seat with lit retreat. We investigate, we imagine, we learn. Then we push a little farther. The ocean is one of the greatest examples of that process. A challenge so enormous it seemed impossible. Yet our ancestors refused to walk away. They stepped closer, then closer still. Until one day they climbed into boats and disappeared beyond the horizon. The next time you stand on a beach, pause for a moment, look toward the horizon. Notice how it still seems endless. Notice how the water still stretches beyond sight. Now imagine standing there tens of thousands of years ago. No maps, no science, no certainty, just questions. Somewhere in the distant past, another human stood exactly where you stand. Now, they looked out at the sea and saw a mystery stretching to the edge of the world. Most species would have turned around. Humans didn't. We stared into the unknown. We wondered what was beyond it. And then, against all logic, we built boats and went looking. Every ship that has ever crossed an ocean, every explorer who has ever sailed beyond the horizon, every map ever drawn, began with one simple moment: a human being standing at the shoreline, looking at infinity and deciding to explore it.